Beermageddon day 3, and I'm joined with the most awesome Anihilated. How you guys doing?
Very well, thank you. Awesome, cheers.
Good trip up?
Apart from Chemical being 6 hours late and me going the wrong way up the M5 twice.
It was emotional.
It was. We passed that same place twice, so
I thought we were on a turntable and we were just being spun around in the same cylinder of scenes.
You can tell he's a drummer because he doesn't know how to use a microphone and he just sits it in his lap.
I thought it was a black ice cream.
Talking through your coat.
A black ice cream.
Anyway, how did you think about the fight?
Oh, awesome.
2013 has been quite a good year for you guys. Obviously, new album, the video which was launched after the interview with Jim Beerman a Wednesday a couple of weeks ago, which went down quite a storm as well.
Yeah.
The concept of the actual video looks very old school in a way, no messing around, none of this hanky-panky flowery rubbish like you see on some videos these days.
That's because we didn't have any money.
Yeah, our original concept, it was meant to be on a sort of a sunset beach in Malibu, but we couldn't do it. No, actually, but what we really wanted to just get across the whole concept of the video is that media controls what you think.
Yeah.
I mean, the line "Death to the Deviant" comes from Nemesis the Warlock from 2000 AD, where if you were different, you get rubbed out, and that's the concept of it's against Simon Cowell and against big business that tell you what you should do and what you shouldn't do, who you love, who you hate, and that's what the whole album concept is about, is not being told what to do and how to do it.
Yeah.
So we thought, right, let's do something that's right straight to the point. This is what we are about.
Just strip it right back really to the basics and make it in your face.
Yeah.
It ain't pretty, is it? I mean, it's got me on the front of it.
And you couldn't afford the budget for the CGI T-Rex that we wanted. So.
I don't even know what they are. They're too expensive.
I quite like the idea of the T-Rex though. Yeah. It was going to have a Triceratops hanging from one tooth.
Yeah.
The other thing I'll just say about the album is it also reflects what's going on in the country at the moment, whereby everybody's being completely oppressed by any form of protest is being crunched down on, and
we only get told the news that they want us to hear, which is really
freedoms are being taken away, and it's a very scary situation. And I don't think the general public are aware of what exactly is going on at the moment. We've been social commentators for best of 30 years, and we've always.
Since we were schoolboys.
We've always had songs that reflect what's going on in what we think is going on in society at the moment, and that is a very important part of the whole album, really. And that will, there's always plenty to talk about, but that's what we've particularly honed in on at the moment, and our inclusion in all the wars that are going on, which is well,
I mean, if you go
more than disgrace.
The old Eastern European countries, you get a completely different take on the news, and they have American news channels that they don't show here, which is showing that actually in the States there's quite a big resistance movement going on in the States, but you don't get it reported by our channels. And seeing that happening, the Occupy Wall Street and. That's bigger than just Wall Street, and they have a whole sort of collective that stop people from losing their houses because the banks have these huge tax breaks but then steal people's houses back because they miss one payment. So seeing that actually in action, I mean, that's what we've been going on about for, like Bod said, for over 30 years.
Yeah.
And it's also with the news companies as well. It's a sort of the sensationalism that they can make everything into entertainment. And as long as it's like something from a Hollywood disaster movie, it's worth showing because it keeps people scared, it keeps people controlled.
But like all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, and the way that was sort of handled, but also things like, say in Chile when you had the earthquake and things like that, and it was reported for 2 days and then forgotten about. You go down there now, there are still people homeless. There are still hundreds of people, still living with that every day. But it's not. It's not interesting. It's not sexy. It doesn't look like the latest Ben Affleck movie. So they just pass it on to someone else.
And when you are in a situation like we are, where we are commentating on and giving our views of what's going on, you get branded as extremists and slammed down that way. Where I actually believe that the general public is starting to open their eyes and starting to see exactly what has and what is going on here. We're not out to start a revolution or cause any form of violence or anything. We just want people to be aware so that they can actually have a voice and say, no, this is enough.
I think
wake up and see.
Yeah, that is one of the main messages of the new album, and you'll hear it tonight, is wake up and see, wake up, be free. Because so many people go around with their eyes shut.
Corporations are taking over the world.
Well,
you might laugh at that, but they certainly are. They own your ass, and you need to make sure that they don't take any more of it. And if you just see what legislation has been passed regarding public disorder and how that can be abused by not only governments of the day but the future. You don't know what crackpot might get in, and they can use that. They can slam you if they wanted to the extreme. They could slam you in jail for disagreeing with anything. It's very dangerous stuff. This is very dangerous.
Where we're lucky is we've got a record company that actually turn around and say, do what you want.
Nice.
Well, we have the freedom.
Say what you want, do what you want, sound how you want, artwork that you want, you just do it, we'll release it.
We're not out to make trouble, but we are out to try and make people aware of what is going on.
I think we're out there to challenge. Yeah. And if it not cause troubles where it's violent trouble, but I would like people to be troubled by what they hear.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, what's the point?
Yeah, that's it. And the way of getting it across, like you said, corporations and stuff like people controlling, there's certain sectors that control the news and what we see, but they cannot control what is plugged through music, especially through certain genres.
Although there are elements that do. Again, you'll hear it tonight. I'm a bit of a Simon Cowell hater.
Good.
Well, it's not just Simon Cowell.
But that whole sort of genre of you will like this, you will watch that, this is who you will love, this is who you will hate, that is how you will dress, and they're attacking the whole of us through our kids. I mean, I've got 8 children, and they are influenced by it, and I spend a lot of my time arguing with them because I'm saying, why are you watching One Direction? What have they done for you? What is it that they talk about? Nothing.
But also, like it's I know it's sort of it's very bad in that sense, but it's also a very exciting time. You know, if you are enlightened in sort of one way or another, it is an exciting time because the age we do live in. There's still things like, say, podcasting or people like, you doing videos, which, I mean, podcasting is still a completely uncensored medium. Yep. So there is a way, and through music and stuff like that, there is a way to actually get information to people. It's just not through the mainstream channels necessarily.
And we've always been quite DIY.
Yeah.
No one's going to censor us.
Yeah, exactly. You can do what you like.
Yeah, which is awesome. But the fear for me is at some point they'll be trying to. At some point they'll pass a law that will mean that they'll try and censor you guys, which is ridiculous. All you're trying to do is present the truth, what's really happening. But at some point there's going to be someone saying, "Oh, you can't say that."
We all have our view, and we're all entitled to it, and that's what you've got to make sure you hold on to.
Yeah, that's
personal freedom.
Well, see, you guys really are, you've been around for 30 years, you've got quite a good reputation anyway. You really are the founders of the punk thrash genre. You've got guys here today who actually built their band up listening to like Anihilated.
Wow.
The guys, Wretched Soul, Luke, how Wretched Soul absolutely loves you guys. He's the reason why he is a musician today. So that must make you feel really, really proud. Because
really humble.
When people say about one of the annoying things with me is when people mention the Big Four, they go for like, the Big Four that sold the most albums. No, sorry. Open your eyes. The Big Four actually started here in the UK, and it wasn't for the likes of yourselves, Virus, who really are the four founders of the genre. Metallica, Slayer, and Megadeth, they wouldn't be around because, again, it's to do with the record sales, it's to do with the corporations controlling. Yeah, you will listen to this. This is what you will buy. Don't worry about everything else. No, it's money. Then he controls the lot.
I think that's why it's also it's really good to see. I mean, aside, I'm the new boy. I can't take any credit for anything. I've just learned the
You
song.
can take some credit from iDeviant.
Well, yeah, I kind of produced that, but like I think it's really
How
good.
do you say that?
Well, I sort of grunted a bit, but
That's where we kind of blackmailed him to have to join the band.
but I think it is really good that there are bands like, say, Annihilated with that sort of attitude, and also like it's really refreshing that even with all those guidelines enforced and the fact that people look at the bands with the biggest record sales, there are still bands out there that can do what they want and be successful. I mean, like look at, say, Napalm Death. They've done exactly what they want forever, and they're respected by everyone. And they just do what they want, and they're great musicians and stuff. And I think it's good that there are bands like that. But it seems, I hope there's
enough. They played their first gig with us.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, I hope there's like new generations of people that are willing to do exactly what they want to do.
Yes.
Because a lot of those bands that have stuck to their guns do seem to be bands that originated in the 80s, as opposed to sort of there's more modern bands that seem to be more focused.
They kind of go with trends, don't they?
Yeah, but maybe that's because that's all they've known.
Yeah.
So.
I think you're right.
I think the interesting thing on this is, and there's no bad feeling from my point of view. I was having a conversation just a few minutes ago about this very same thing, is that we were one of the very first thrash metal bands in this country, but we have also been the outcasts of the genre. Because the corporate labels would not come anywhere near us because of there was a lot of snobbery, because of we were a punk band originally, we didn't like Satan. We did not want to toe the line. It was very popular to write songs about swords and motorbikes and dragons and hell and all the rest of it. We're only interested in any of that. That's fine if people want to do it, but we've always been on the political side and talking about what's going on. And we were just cast aside, and we've always been disjointed in that way that's why we never got all the big coverage or anything. There's no bitterness because we got on the underground scene. We're in fanzines and God knows what. That's why we're better known abroad than we are in the UK, because they just didn't want to touch us in the UK.
But yeah, like you can sing a lot of songs about Satan and things like that, but like the fact of the matter is there's a lot more horrifying things on Earth than there are in these imaginary places full of demons.
But we were never outcast by the fans or by the guy in the street. It was always the people who had the power to put you there so that you could play to mass audiences. But we found other ways, and mainly through bootlegs and the tape exchange and all that kind of stuff. Our music found its way abroad.
Yeah, and everybody, when they pick up a guitar, most people at some point think, I could be a rock star, I could be really famous. But actually, I quite like what we do. My life would have been very, very different if we hadn't got that mass coverage. But I quite like the life I've had.
Who knows? We will never know.
I've learned more from what I've done than I think from what I could have done.
I sleep very, very well at night. I have nothing on my conscience, and I never
Apart
stuff.
from the murders you did.
I've never. Well, they'll never find those. They'll never find the bodies. But what I'm saying is that we did it our own way, and we never stiffed anyone over, and that's the way it was.
That's his agent. Yes, we're towing the non-corporate line.
Yes, Jeeves. Yes, you can park the jet on the lawn. Thank you very much. Yes, we'll be around. Goodbye.
It's sorted.
Yes.
You can edit that bit out, right?
Because I've got the Monkey Butler next weekend.
Yes. Enough.
I think a lot of the problem with Si saying about Simon Cowell and stuff like that, and something that you see which has become a part of culture now, though, is people wanting fame for the sake of fame. Like, people aren't saying, oh, I want to be an amazing guitarist, oh, I want to be an amazing songwriter. They're going, I want to be famous. How do I get there? And I think, if you ever start from that point with that goal in mind, you already lost, like, in my opinion.
And mine.
No, you're absolutely right.
That's the thing with the likes of Beermageddon. Obviously, this is where the true talent is.
Yeah.
It's not on TV on Saturday night and people getting 15 minutes of fame. It's local bands who, with local talent, which is struggling sometimes to even get petrol together to get to a gig, to perform for 15-20 minutes sometimes. That's where the talent is, and it's Beermageddon, which is brought
The thing about smaller festivals like this, and always has been the same, is that people play live. If they're good, they come across well. People, when they get onto these bloody TV shows, it's all bloody mimed. It's all mimed. What is that? Cheryl Colbert. I've never seen anything on telly that my girls have been watching where she's ever sung anything. What's the point? What is the point? That ain't talent. I mean, there's nothing about talent. She might look tidy, but do you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, tidy. But places like this, I mean, you get some bloody good bands who come on. They play for 45 minutes to 400 people that are really going to enjoy themselves, regardless. They're not going to stand and go, I'm not going to watch this band, and stand at the back and drink at the bar. They're actually going to watch them. Yeah, because these are people who want to see music. You go and play other festivals where there are 100,000 people, 20% of those people might want to watch it. Okay, yes, a lot of people, but you're still going to have that whole, it's that kind of, I'd rather have 400 people in front of me wanting to watch us than 20,000 and only a couple of.
However, when you go to 20,000 people, a lot of those people have come just to see certain bands, and they will go and stand and they will watch it, everything, but they don't want to watch everything. You can't expect 100,000 people to stand at the front and watch every single band. I mean, so I wouldn't knock large festivals or anything.
Not large festivals. I'm just saying what I like.
But yeah, it is more personal when you have smaller audiences.
I mean, we did Metal Bash
very more
in
personal.
Hamburg, and it was very much like this.
Yeah.
It was very friendly. It was, there were a lot of people there, but it was done on a similar sort of scale. It was an outdoor one. It was similar scale, nice big stage, lovely people, really well set up. Got in, got sorted out, done. Lovely, really good night.
I remember talking to Paul Sampson of Sampson, long time ago. And he did tell me that he was then gone back to playing pubs and clubs, and he told me that he much preferred to play the smaller pubs and clubs, because when he was on the big stage doing the Apollo and everywhere else, all the rank circuits and whatever, he said that my mates would always phone up afterwards and say, well, bloody rock star, what we couldn't get to him because the security would never let his mates backstage to see him. And he said it was just a nightmare. He said, but here I can come in, I can play, I can go to the bar, I can sit down, I can chat with anyone. It's absolutely brilliant. And that's that is the thing you get with the smaller shows. You do get that much more personal experience.
I think that's what I like about the smaller shows as well. Like, having done some of the really big shows as well, which are great. Like, don't get me wrong, some of the best days of my life have been really big shows, but you get that there's that really odd disconnect with the fact that you've got the front of the stage, then 4 foot of monitors, then a 20-foot security pit, and the audience are a mile away. And I like to be able to smell them. When they're up, when it's up close. When it's a smaller venue, when it's a smaller event, and the audience are up close, is great. Any musician in any genre of music will tell you feed off the energy of people. If they're half a mile away, it's a very nice thing to play, but at the same time, it feels very strange. It can feel like a rehearsal in front of an audience, which is a bit weird.
Hey, they've got to be there. They've got to be there, but they're not my favourite. I like stage divers. I like people getting up on stage, and so you can throw them off and they have a laugh while they're doing it.
Just not into the barriers.
It's not into the barriers. No, that can be a little bit messy.
Well, so you've got your album release coming up very soon.
27th of September.
Excellent. What's in store then for the rest of 2013?
The rest of 2013, we've got a couple of dates we've just got to clear. One hopefully in Liverpool, and another one around there. Then we've got a gig in Ipswich in November. But Danny's away with Criminal. He also plays with Criminal and Pentagram. You're with them.
I'm doing shows with Criminal and Pentagram.
So we have to kind of work around what Danny can do. And then January we're embarking on other stuff. We've got Hammerfest in March. We've got a couple of gigs in Europe which can't announce yet. and we've got Full Thrash Assault up in Wakefield. And
We're trying to get abroad a little bit more next year because the last year was a bit quiet. Mark obviously decided that he didn't want to play live anymore. So we've had a lot of change. We've had a lot of things going on. We've had a lot of. Danny's just seamless entrance and
loads of
it's
new
been fantastic. But we have
only had to talk to you a bit.
But we have had to make a lot of. We have had a lot of deal with a lot of change.
It's all changed for the good, though, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
It's a lot more energy in there now. I mean, Mark, bless him, lovely, awesome guy, and he left on very, very good terms. But he'd had enough.
Yeah.
And the energy wasn't there for him anymore. So it's good to get a burst of energy from Danny, and it's kind of re-energised all of us as well.
I have to say it has, yeah.
You know, you get to our age, you need to be re-energised every now and again.
But we worked with Danny on the album, obviously, and we got on so well.
Loved him so much.
And
it's great.
And it was just really nice that he said that he would like to have a try at coming in and taking up guitar, because it has just sort of been great, and it is.
Yeah, we like during the whole recording session, we just all got on so well.
We did.
I was I had my producer hat on at the time, so I was working, but
And a special card as well.
and the special, we had a
special card.
but we all got on so well. And when Mark said he was thinking about jacking it in, I almost, it sounds stupid, but I almost didn't really think about it. I just sort of went, well, I'll do it. Yeah, I'll get on with everyone. It'll be good fun, and that seems to be the case.
We did have a blast to record that.
Yeah, it was really
every
good
day
session.
was so much fun. We've got a video of it, and I every now and then watch and go through that. It's so much fun.
But we do generally try to have a, our music is very dark and serious, but we do have a bloody good time.
And we're going to have fun tonight. We're going to want some audience participation and stuff like that, and have a bit of a laugh with everybody.
Yeah, it's all about energy, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what it is. Feed off the crowd feeds off you, and you feed back off the crowd. It's like a line that's bounced backwards.
It's the most wonderful thing, being able to stand there and entertain people. It's an honour that they actually enjoy what you're doing, but it's almost addictive when they are enjoying it and they feed it back. You just want to give more. When we played the Pandemonium Club, I came off and collapsed, didn't I? I was so exhausted, but that was so much fun. Beautiful gig, tiny little place. It wasn't a huge crowd, but it was just so much fun.
But we have always had the mindset that it is a great privilege to play in a band, basically.
For people that pay to come and see you, and the things you said, like Luke, was it Luke? You said, I'm getting muddled up with Lee from Retro Souls, saying we influence, and I was just like, whoa, that's an honour that someone feels puts you in that regard.
I think for me, and I think I can say this sort of, and like only just being officially part of the band, sort of looking at it like from outside a little bit more as well. I think it'd be really nice for these guys that after 30 years of work to get the recognition I think they deserve, because like recording the album with them, I'm listening to it and going, this is fucking good. This is really good stuff. They're really good songs. They're really good musicians, and it'd be nice if they can sort of be rewarded for 30 years hard work. I've got it easy. I just turn up at the end and try to claim all the glory. But if they could be rewarded for the 30 years hard work and get the recognition they deserve, because people out there are influenced by them. People out there know who they are. But hopefully with doing things like Hammerfest and hopefully get a lot of other good festivals and being here this weekend, they'll get what's coming to them.
We've had plenty of that already.
I'm slightly worried, man. I may have to get in some training.
As long as we cuddle afterwards.
I don't mind as long as there's a cuddle.
Did you want to ask anything? That was your cue for me to remember something else.
Alright, okay, I do ask a random question. Marmite, love it or hate it?
Love it.
Love it.
Love it.
Love it.
Absolutely.
Have to.
Marmite, Vegemite, Vegemite.
I prefer Vegemite.
So
really?
I prefer Marmite over Vegemite, but Vegemite, my kids like Vegemite better.
I think I like Vegemite because it's slightly sweeter.
It's a bit cheesier.
And you can spread it really thick, whereas Marmite you can't really whack it on.
And another question, because
especially on sweet corn.
Because you all have children, what would you say to them? They all said, Dad, I want to be in a metal band.
I'd encourage it.
I mean, I've got whatever instrument they want. I've got, so I'll just say, right, there you go.
I would give them encouragement to do anything that they want, but I would try to ensure that they didn't make the mistakes that I made, and that they were always safe. As there's a lot of it's a hard thing being on a road, and there are a lot of dangers when you're young, and there's a lot of people taking a lot of advantage of people starting out. So if your question is aimed at young people, yes, I would definitely encourage it, but I would try and warn them of the nasty side.
Well, I was incredibly lucky.
Which does exist.
My dad, when I joined the band when I was 14, a long time ago, and he became the road manager for us, and he just looked after us. That was great, and he kept us away from an awful lot of stuff that could have happened. And I'd like to do something like that for my kids. I mean, my oldest daughter is a phenomenal musician. She doesn't play metal, she plays quite folky stuff, but she's very, very good at it. I would always encourage her to play what she wants to play, but if she wanted to go out there on the road, I'd want to make sure that she's looked after, because there are some absolute twats out there who will take advantage.
And I think with, not to be too down, but with the way the industry's struggling with record sales and things like that, I've seen just in the last 10 years, like, there's a growing number of ruthless people out to try to find a young band and take advantage, and we can make you famous if you give us $4,000 kind of thing. And I think that's like the best thing you can do is impart that advice of like, well, hang on, read the contract through. And like, for example, because they're not making the money from record sales, there's a lot of people out there now saying, oh, I'll manage your band for £600 a month, and you kind of think, well, the way it used to be done was say 10%, 15%, 20%, but 15% of nothing's nothing. If they earn you nothing, and then they've got no motive to work. Yeah. But there's a lot of people out there now, and they've got 20 bands on their books, paying them £500 a month, and doing nothing for them. So I think it's just being able to impart that knowledge to sort of your kids and younger generation. Like, well, yeah, it's really good. I'd encourage you to do it. But these are the people to watch, and don't take sweeps from strangers.
There's a couple of young up-and-coming bands at the moment, I won't mention the names, I had a long chat with, because they were getting sniffed at by a couple of record labels that were saying, oh, these advance, this advance, I was saying, just don't. Because the minute they start giving you advances, you're in their pocket.
The other thing is what Dan touched on earlier, is that if they're going, see what I have to put up with. If they're going, I've had 30 years of this bollocks.
You've not had my bollocks for 30.
If they go into the entertainment industry,
you had to wait till I was 18.
Fame is not the important thing. It's trying to be good at what you're doing and try to do the best at what you can. If fame comes along, well, it's probably going to get in your way, and that's another thing. But if you're going to get into a band, it's about enjoying yourself and doing the best that you think that you possibly can.
I mean, if I didn't enjoy it, I think also if we didn't enjoy it, we wouldn't do it. What would be the point? I mean, there's not money to be made in what we do. If we didn't enjoy it, if this was a job and I had to do this for a living and I wasn't enjoying it, I'd go and work somewhere else.
And you'd be, like younger bands would be very, very surprised at how many bands they consider big and famous bands. They've all got their day jobs, you know, like believe me, there's some people I know who you kind of think, Jesus, I'm glad I don't have to do your job, and you play to 5,000 people a night.
Wimpy, don't you?
Yeah, he's still pushing a broom around. The guys from Kiss have really struggled to make a penny, but they're working at it.
Well, Peter Criss has, because he's got the crap money.
Biff works at B&Q.
Yeah,
sold me some paint last week.
Yeah.
But just do it for the right reasons and think it through. Think through any decisions you make. It's the most stupid thing my dad said to me, about 15 years ago. But don't sign anything till you've read it properly. It's one of those things. Because the whole industry is full of the stories of, well, we had a record company that didn't do us right, and
I'm not going to go into that one.
I say, if you don't understand what you're saying, get someone else to read it for you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
'Cause-
Join the Musicians Union.
I remember
Get them to check it over for you.
Cradle of Filth from the same town as us, and I remember reading their first record contract from them, so I couldn't afford a solicitor. You know?
Yeah.
And there's really good. There are really good, honest, like decent people out there. Like the guys from one of the guys from the band Dew-Scented. Like I'm pretty sure like his company, you know, the company he runs or the work he does is he'll take your contract and he'll look at it, and then I think he will negotiate you a better deal if it's crappy, you know. And I think it's good to know that there are people out there who, like, probably because they're musicians as well, they're like, well, we've been through shit, this is how to avoid that.
Well, guys, I'd like to thank you so much for taking the time to chat with us today. It has been really, really great.
That's been nice
Thank you.
It's been a pleasure. Sorry I talked so much.
Yeah, you
I wish it
never fucking stopped, did you?
I wish he'd have shut up. We never got a word in.
He's always the
You've
trap.
always been the same, haven't you? Just because you're the attractive one.
He just sits there and smoulders.
Yeah. He's looking at the camera.
All the ladies are just looking at Todd.
He's got nice shiny
What the hell
hair.
is that?
They're going,
The rock cock.
We're looking forward to seeing you guys perform tonight. And I'm actually going to be videoing your performance for Colin Tyler as well.
Oh, okay.
Oh, fantastic. We'd like to see that.
Yeah,
Let's see that in
we can see if we do it right.
I mean, there'll be mistakes, there'll be cock-ups, but it's going to be fun. We're just going to go out there and enjoy ourselves. What we always do.
Absolutely.
That's brilliant. Cheers.
Cheers, man. Thank you.
Thanks, man.
Cheers,
Thank
my
you.
friend.